I never enjoyed being scared. I avoid roller coasters, yet I have come to think that doing philosophy requires a person to allow a frightening idea to remain in the mind long enough to be examined. If an idea is true, I should be able to hold it up to the light. If it is false, careful attention should cause it to fail on its own. One idea I tried to hold is the claim that the self is not real. Today, you often encounter a very clean picture of reality. According to this picture, ordinary objects do not truly exist. Only very small constituents exist called simples arranged in patterns. And we call these patterns tables and chairs and bodies. Philosophers call this mereological nihilism. A related view is eliminativism, which says that thoughts are merely neural activity. Emotions are chemistry. Choice is just computation. The you experience is just a model generated by the brain. It's not hard to see the appeal. Reduction compresses complexity. One kind of thing explains everything, no special cases and no privileged entities. The view feels tidy, scientific, and internally consistent. The seduction of reduction, as it's known, is that coherence begins to feel like adequacy. Rather than try to argue against it, I try to inhabit it. And when you attempt to live inside that idea, something unexpected happens. You do not feel enlightened. You feel destabilized. If there is no subject, then there is no experiencer. Thoughts are not yours. Decisions are not yours. Feelings are not yours. There is only a process unfolding. If you allow that picture to sit in your mind without examination, it undermines the basis for action. The mind cannot anchor a choice. But inner reflection produces a different result. The idea collapses. To evaluate whether experience is unreal, you must be experiencing. You cannot step outside of subjectivity to verify that subjectivity does not exist. You can assert that there is no observer, yet that assertion is noticed. The claim can be stated abstractly, but cannot be lived consistently. Every observation presupposes a point of view making it. The eliminativist picture is built from third-person models, descriptions of what the world looks like from the outside. But every single piece of evidence for any model comes from first-person observation. You never encounter particles or laws directly. You encounter perceptions, thoughts, and awareness, and only then infer a model of the world. So I didn't solve consciousness, but I learned something. The world is at least the kind of place where being a subject genuinely occurs. I can't demonstrate how, but it's true and you know it directly. Even if you think you are the victim of an illusion, well, that still requires a you. People sometimes say individuals are real at one level while society is real at another, but that treats them as the same kind of thing at different scales. They are not. A society exists as an arrangement. A person exists as a point of view. A corporation does not perceive. Officials within it perceive. A group can coordinate actions, but no one experiences as the group. Only individuals experience anything. The difference is not size, it's category, subject versus arrangement. And only a subject can be wronged. So how do we act? We adopt a rule. We treat other people as subjects because they resemble us, and we know our own case immediately. This produces a boundary. I cannot demonstrate I am a soul owning a body, but neither can anyone attempt to justify treating me as an object without contradiction. The point is not proving self-ownership. The point is the absence of justification for one's ownership over another who is probably also a subject. This is epistemic humility. Because we cannot see inside persons, we must not treat them as property. There is a second limit. Even if we recognize others as subjects, we do not know enough to direct their lives. Each person holds tacit knowledge about preferences, risks, and trade-offs that cannot be fully observed from the outside. Any planner would require information approaching omniscience. We can observe outcomes and collect statistics, but we cannot access interior valuations guiding decisions. So planners can only pretend to possess complete knowledge. The first limitation forbids ownership of apparent subjects. The second forbids central direction. Together they point at liberty. Liberals, leftists, fascists, and other atheists alternate frequently between denying the individual in theory and relying on the individual in practice. Yet the distinction is simple. Arrangements can be described from the outside, but subjects are encountered from the inside. A worldview that treats human beings as fully describable from the outside invites engineering. If persons are only patterns, patterns appear engineerable. But once subjectivity is acknowledged, a hard boundary appears. Part of reality cannot be externally accessed and cannot be centrally known. Liberty, therefore, does not only come from moral concern, but from epistemic humility. Human beings are not merely arrangements observed from the outside. They are centers of experience encountered from the inside. Liberty does not come from knowing everything about people. It comes from recognizing we will never know everything about them. We cannot verify the interior life of another person, and we cannot know enough to run their life for them. That is why the individual matters.